Welcome to the AvaMind audio blog, brought to you by the AvaMind app, your companion for reflective support. In this episode, we explore the essential art of setting healthy boundaries. Setting healthy boundaries, the art of self-preservation and relationship flourishing. Do you ever feel like a constant giver, pouring out your energy until you're running on empty? Perhaps the word no feels impossible, bringing with it fears of shattered relationships or being labeled as selfish. Or maybe you found yourself in a cycle of resentment, feeling consistently undervalued and taken for granted. If any of this resonates, please know you're not alone. Navigating the complexities of setting healthy boundaries is a common human experience. It's a skill that goes beyond mere benefit. It's truly essential for your emotional well-being and for nurturing authentic, thriving relationships. Remember, setting boundaries isn't about building impenetrable walls. It's about constructing clear and respectful fences that define your limits, protect your precious energy, and allow you to connect with others from a place of strength, clarity, and genuine connection. Here are the key takeaways from this blog. Emotional fortification. Boundaries act as a vital shield, protecting your mental and emotional health by establishing clear expectations, limits, and non-negotiables. The hidden costs of boundary neglect. Ignoring your boundaries can lead to a cascade of negative consequences, including chronic stress, burnout, deep-seated resentment, and the formation of unhealthy relationship patterns like codependency and enabling. Recognizing the subtle red flags. The first crucial step is identifying the often subtle signs that your boundaries are being compromised. These can include pervasive guilt, chronic difficulty in saying no, persistent feelings of being drained, and an overwhelming sense of obligation. Navigating the spectrum of protection. Understanding that boundaries come in many forms: physical, emotional, time-related, mental, and work-related, is essential for comprehensive self-protection and creating a balanced and fulfilling life. The power of consistent clarity and enforcement. Simply setting boundaries isn't enough. Maintaining them requires unwavering self-awareness, clear and assertive communication, and consistent enforcement to ensure they are respected and upheld. The transformative ripple effect of healthy boundaries. Establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries brings profound benefits, including improved relationships built on mutual respect, reduced stress and anxiety, increased self-confidence and self-worth, and a greater sense of control and empowerment over your life. So, why are these boundaries so crucial in the first place? Let's explore why boundaries matter, the cornerstone of sustainable and thriving relationships. Imagine relationships without any clear boundaries, a chaotic and unsustainable dynamic where needs are constantly blurred and expectations are perpetually unmet. Healthy boundaries provide the essential framework for structure, clarity, and mutual respect, fostering relationships that are balanced, fulfilling, and truly sustainable. To summarize how they empower you. Firstly, to safeguard your emotional and mental well-being. This means protecting your inner peace and mental health from overextension, manipulation, and emotional drain. Secondly, to cultivate authentic and honest communication. By setting clear expectations and limits, you foster open, honest, and respectful communication, reducing misunderstandings and conflict. Thirdly, to nurture self-respect, confidence, and self-worth. Prioritizing your needs, values, and boundaries builds a strong foundation of self-respect and confidence. Fourth, to strengthen relationships through mutual respect and understanding. Healthy boundaries create healthier and more fulfilling relationships based on mutual respect, clear communication, and a shared understanding of each other's limits. Fifth, to prevent burnout, resentment, and emotional exhaustion. By setting clear limits on your time, energy, and emotional investment, you protect yourself from the insidious creep of burnout, resentment, and emotional exhaustion. Without these vital boundaries, you risk becoming simply a vessel for the needs of others, leading to a toxic cycle of resentment, burnout, and the development of unhealthy relationship patterns, such as codependency and enabling. Now, let's turn our attention to red flags, recognizing the subtle signs of boundary erosion. The persistent guilt trip. Do you experience overwhelming feelings of guilt when you assert your needs or say no? The chronic people-pleaser syndrome. Do you consistently prioritize others' needs over your own, even at the expense of your own well-being? The resentment reservoir. Do you harbor deep-seated feelings of resentment towards others for consistently overstepping your limits? The energy vampire interactions. Do interactions with certain individuals leave you feeling utterly drained and depleted? The blurred work-life divide. Do you struggle to maintain a healthy balance between your professional and personal life, often leading to burnout? The unquenchable approval addiction. Do you constantly seek validation and approval from others to feel valued and worthy? The 24/7 on-call obligation. Do you feel obligated to be available to others at all times, regardless of your own needs or commitments? The fear-driven agreement. Do you often agree to things you don't want to do simply to avoid conflict, disapproval, or abandonment? The inability to accept assistance. Do you tend to push away offers of help, feeling like you have to handle everything entirely alone? The need for excessive explanation. Do you feel compelled to over-explain yourself when setting boundaries, driven by guilt or fear of judgment? Recognizing these subtle signs is the crucial first step toward reclaiming your emotional sovereignty and establishing healthier boundaries. Now, let's move on to your comprehensive boundary toolkit: strategies for setting, maintaining, and defending your limits. Our first crucial tool: map your limits, values, and non-negotiables. Personal boundaries aren't just rules, they're the very foundation of your well-being. But before you can set them, you need to understand them. This starts with deep self-reflection. Take some time to identify what truly makes you feel comfortable, safe, and respected in different areas of your life: relationships, work, family, and social interactions. Our second strategy: clarify your core values and non-negotiables. Your values deeply shape your boundaries. Ask yourself, what truly matters most to me? What behaviors am I absolutely unwilling to tolerate? Where do I need to fiercely protect my time and energy? By clearly defining these elements, you create a strong and authentic foundation for setting and enforcing boundaries that genuinely align with your well-being and personal growth. Here are some practical steps to map your boundaries. Keep a journal. Track situations, interactions, and your feelings that trigger discomfort, resentment, or overwhelm. Reflect deeply. Write down a recent moment when you felt uncomfortable or drained. What exactly was happening? Who was involved? And how did your body react? Identify patterns. Are there recurring situations or specific people who consistently leave you feeling exhausted or disrespected? Rate your comfort level on a scale of 1 to 10. Assess different social and professional interactions to pinpoint areas where firmer boundaries are clearly needed. Our third vital strategy: communicate with clarity, courage, compassion, and consistency. Setting boundaries is only truly effective when you communicate them clearly. Many people hesitate to express their needs out of understandable fear: fear of disappointing others, creating conflict, or being perceived as selfish. But remember, boundaries aren't demands, they are acts of self-respect and a pathway to mutual understanding. Here's how to communicate boundaries effectively. Use I statements to ensure your message is firm yet respectful. Instead of saying, "You always interrupt me," try, "I feel overwhelmed when I'm interrupted while speaking. I'd appreciate it if I could finish my thoughts before you respond." Approach these important conversations with courage, standing firm in your needs, and with compassion, acknowledging the other person's perspective. Consistency is absolutely key. Reinforcing your boundaries regularly signals clearly that they are not negotiable. Here are some practical steps to communicate boundaries. Express your needs assertively and kindly. Use I statements to avoid blaming or accusing. Be direct and specific. Vague boundaries often lead to misunderstandings. Make your expectations crystal clear. Practice active listening. Acknowledge the other person's perspective while firmly maintaining your limits. Stay consistent. Enforcing your boundaries regularly builds trust and powerfully reinforces their importance. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. Consider right now, how will you start communicating your boundaries today? Our fourth boundary strategy: master the art of the graceful no and the empowered yes. So many of us struggle to say no due to fear of rejection, guilt, or being perceived as unkind. But please remember, saying no is not selfish. It's an absolutely necessary skill for protecting your valuable time, energy, and overall mental well-being. A graceful no doesn't require lengthy explanations or profuse apologies. A simple, "I appreciate the offer, but I can't commit to that right now," is both respectful and undeniably firm. Equally important is embracing a fully empowered yes. When you stop feeling guilty about declining what drains you, you create precious space for the opportunities that truly align with your deepest values and goals. The key here is balance, knowing precisely when to protect your energy and when to wholeheartedly invest it. Here are some practical steps to say yes and no with confidence. Remember, no is a complete sentence. You absolutely do not have to justify your decision. Be clear and concise. Use straightforward phrases like, "No, thank you," or "That doesn't work for me." Offer alternatives only if you genuinely want to. You are not obligated to fix every situation. Practice polite but firm responses. For example, "I appreciate the offer, but my schedule is fully booked," or "That timing doesn't align with my current priorities." Say a full, enthusiastic yes when something truly resonates with your goals and values. Mastering this crucial balance allows you to protect your well-being while staying open to truly meaningful opportunities. Take a moment. What will you say no or yes to today? Our fifth powerful strategy: manage the guilt gremlins, self-doubt, and fear of rejection. Setting boundaries can understandably stir up feelings of guilt and self-doubt, especially if you're accustomed to consistently prioritizing others over yourself. You might even feel selfish for putting your own needs first. But please remember, self-care is not selfish. It's absolutely essential. Guilt is a natural human response, but it certainly doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Another significant challenge is the fear of rejection. Not everyone will respond positively to your boundaries. Some may push back, attempt to guilt trip you, or try to test your limits. When this happens, please remember this vital truth. Their reaction is about them, not about you. You are not responsible for managing others' discomfort when you are actively protecting your own well-being. Overcoming these emotional hurdles requires genuine self-compassion, deliberate mindset shifts, and consistent practice. Every single time you stand firm in your boundaries, you powerfully reinforce your inherent worth and significantly strengthen your self-confidence. Here are some practical steps to manage guilt, doubt, and fear of rejection. Recognize that guilt is a normal feeling, but it absolutely doesn't have to control your actions. Allow it to pass without letting it dictate your choices. Actively reframe the limiting belief that setting boundaries is selfish. Remind yourself that honoring your own needs ultimately helps you show up as your best self in all your interactions. Practice profound self-compassion. Use positive self-affirmations like, "My needs matter just as much," or "I deserve respect and balance in my life." Accept the reality that some people simply won't like your boundaries, and that is perfectly okay. Their reaction is a reflection of their own perspective, not a judgment of your worth. Continuously remind yourself that protecting your inner peace is always a valid and important choice. You are not responsible for managing the expectations or disappointments of others. Every single time you honor your boundaries, you actively strengthen your sense of self-worth. What is one boundary you feel ready to reinforce today? Our sixth key strategy: cultivate self-awareness, self-reflection, and mindfulness. Your ability to effectively set and consistently uphold boundaries truly begins with deep self-awareness. The more attuned you are to your own emotions, fundamental needs, and personal limits, the easier it becomes to recognize precisely when those limits are being tested. Regular self-reflection, whether through journaling, quiet meditation, or thoughtful contemplation, can help you answer some crucial questions. How do I genuinely feel after certain interactions with others? What specific situations consistently drain my energy and leave me feeling depleted? Am I truly honoring my own needs, or am I often sacrificing them in an attempt to please others? Mindfulness plays an incredibly valuable role in boundary setting. By staying present in your moment-to-moment experiences and actively tuning into your own emotions, you can catch potential boundary violations early on and respond with greater clarity and confidence. Over time, consistent self-reflection helps you to continually refine your boundaries so they align authentically with your evolving needs and priorities. Here are some practical steps to cultivate self-awareness, self-reflection, and mindfulness. Check in with yourself regularly throughout your day. Notice any patterns in your emotional and mental state to identify what consistently supports or depletes you. Utilize journaling, meditation practices, or open conversations with a trusted friend or therapist to process your experiences and gain deeper clarity. Practice mindfulness on a daily basis. Pay close attention to your emotions, any physical sensations you experience, and your gut instincts. These often provide early signals that a boundary needs to be set or reinforced. Self-awareness is truly the foundational cornerstone of strong and healthy boundaries. The more deeply you understand yourself, the more empowered you become in effectively protecting your own well-being. Our seventh essential strategy: establish clear consequences for boundary violations and enforce them consistently. Setting boundaries is only truly effective if you consistently follow through. If someone repeatedly disregards your clearly communicated limits, there must be clear and enforceable consequences in place. Otherwise, your boundaries risk becoming mere empty words, and others will likely continue to push against them. For example, if a friend consistently calls you late at night despite your explicit request not to, you might clearly state, "I won't be answering calls after 9 p.m." If they continue this behavior, you must follow through by not picking up. In a work setting, if a colleague constantly assigns you last-minute tasks despite your need for adequate notice, you can clearly state, "I need at least 24 hours notice for additional work." If this behavior persists, you may need to escalate the issue or delegate the responsibility elsewhere. Remember, boundaries without consistent consequences are merely suggestions. By standing firm and consistently reinforcing your limits, you send a powerful message that your well-being is absolutely non-negotiable. Here are some practical steps for enforcing boundaries. Clearly communicate the potential consequences of repeated boundary violations so that expectations are fully understood by everyone involved. Follow through consistently. If you fail to enforce your limits, others will quickly assume they don't actually matter. Be fully prepared to adjust relationships or even limit contact if absolutely necessary. Your own well-being must always come first. The more consistently you stand by your clearly communicated boundaries, the more respect others will ultimately have for them. Set boundaries in digital spaces. In today's digital age, setting healthy boundaries extends to our interactions with technology, including the use of AI therapy and therapy apps. These tools can be incredibly beneficial for mental health support, offering convenient access to valuable resources and guidance. However, it's absolutely crucial to establish clear digital boundaries to prevent burnout and maintain a healthy overall balance. Just as we thoughtfully set limits in our face-to-face interactions, we must also consciously define when and how we engage with digital mental health tools. This includes setting specific times for using therapy apps, actively managing notifications, and ensuring that technology truly enhances our well-being without overwhelming us. Navigate family dynamics with sensitivity and strength. Navigating family dynamics can be particularly challenging when boundary issues are deeply ingrained. Sometimes, it becomes necessary to seek professional guidance to break unhealthy patterns and foster healthier, more respectful relationships. A skilled therapist or counselor can provide invaluable support in identifying these complex patterns, developing effective communication strategies, and building the essential confidence needed to set and consistently maintain healthy boundaries within your family. Therapy provides a safe and supportive space to explore these often sensitive challenges and develop effective coping mechanisms, whether you're dealing with family, work, or personal relationships. Remember that online therapy options are also readily available, offering additional support whenever you need it. When it comes to family, it's often best to start with small, manageable steps. Family dynamics can be deeply ingrained and emotionally charged, so be prepared for potential resistance and understand that meaningful change often takes both time and patience. If you're seeking a therapist to help navigate boundary issues, AvaMind's Therapist Directory can be a useful and accessible resource. Here are some practical steps for navigating family boundaries. Communicate your needs clearly and respectfully, while also acknowledging the perspectives of others involved. Be prepared for potential resistance. Changing established family dynamics often takes time, consistency, and a great deal of patience. Don't hesitate to seek professional help from a therapist or counselor if needed, as family boundary issues can be deeply ingrained and emotionally charged. Practice self-care as a boundary maintenance strategy. Setting healthy boundaries isn't just about learning when and how to say no. It's fundamentally about actively protecting your inner peace and consistently maintaining your emotional well-being. It's important to anticipate that some people may resist your newly established boundaries, especially if they have become accustomed to you always accommodating their needs without question. When faced with this inevitable pushback, it's crucial to stand firm in your limits and continually remind yourself that others' reactions are ultimately not your responsibility to manage. Practicing assertive self-advocacy involves communicating your boundaries clearly and calmly, without resorting to unnecessary guilt or aggression. If someone repeatedly disrespects your clearly communicated limits, carefully consider the level of access you allow them to your life. This might thoughtfully mean limiting interactions, or, in some cases, even stepping away from certain relationships altogether. Protecting your own peace is a powerful and essential form of self-care, and consciously choosing to disengage when necessary is a profound act of self-respect. Here are some strategies for assertive self-advocacy when navigating pushback and protecting your peace. Expect a degree of resistance from some people who have grown accustomed to you accommodating their needs without question. Stand firm in your clearly communicated boundaries and consistently remind yourself that you are not responsible for the emotional reactions of others. Set clear boundaries for how you will engage with those who consistently disregard your limits, which may include limiting contact or even ending certain relationships if necessary for your well-being. Practice assertive communication techniques, focusing on clarity and respect rather than aggressive or passive communication. Recognize that sometimes the most effective way to protect your peace is to disengage from a conversation or interaction entirely. The ripple effect, the long-term benefits of embracing healthy boundaries. The increasing integration of AI into mental health tools is significantly focused on enhancing self-awareness, which is a truly critical component of setting healthy boundaries. AI-driven mood trackers and personalized feedback systems can empower individuals to identify patterns in their own emotions and behaviors, providing invaluable insights into their personal needs and limits. By thoughtfully leveraging these powerful tools, individuals can gain a deeper understanding of precisely when and how to assert their boundaries effectively, ultimately contributing to significantly improved overall well-being. However, it is essential to always remember that these digital tools are best utilized to support, rather than replace, genuine human connection and your own personal judgment. Embracing healthy boundaries leads to a powerful ripple effect of positive change in your life. Enhanced relationships. Relationships become characterized by genuine mutual respect, deeper understanding, clear and honest communication, and authentic connection. Reduced stress and anxiety. You experience a calmer, more centered life with significantly less emotional overwhelm and a greater sense of inner peace. Increased self-confidence and self-worth. You develop a stronger sense of self, greater confidence in your ability to assert your own needs effectively, and a deeper, more profound sense of self-worth. Reclaimed time and energy. You gain more valuable resources for your own priorities, your passions, and essential self-care practices, leading to a far more fulfilling life. Improved life balance. You achieve a greater sense of control and equilibrium across all areas of your life, fostering a profound sense of harmony and overall well-being. Final thoughts: embrace your boundaries, embrace your empowerment, and embrace your authentic self. On your ongoing journey towards greater well-being, or in your search to find a therapist near you or connect with a therapist online, please always remember that healthy boundaries are absolutely essential for building strong and supportive relationships in all areas of your life. AvaMind is here to support you every step of the way on your journey to better mental health. Boundaries are not about building isolating walls. They are about creating empowering gates that allow you to engage with others from a place of genuine strength, unwavering authenticity, and profound self-respect. The more consistently you practice setting and maintaining your healthy boundaries, the more natural and empowering it will become, positively transforming your relationships and your overall well-being. Embrace your boundaries, embrace your own inherent empowerment, and wholeheartedly embrace your authentic self, allowing you to live a life that is truly aligned with your deepest values and needs. This blog is intended for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you are experiencing persistent anxiety or other significant mental health concerns, we strongly encourage you to connect with a qualified therapist through the AvaMind app. You can easily find the app on both Google Play and the App Store. Please remember that seeking support is always a sign of strength, and AvaMind is here to help you find the professional support you need on your unique journey. What specific boundaries have you set in your own life that have had a truly transformative impact? Please feel encouraged to share your experiences below, and let's collectively inspire each other to fully embrace our own empowerment and live authentically.